Hello, everyone. It's Granny again. We are doing part 11 today, continuing with the second interview of Chris and Katie with Holly Thompson and the behavior panel. Um, I want to just encourage everybody, if you have not joined the behavior panel, to go ahead, run over there, subscribe, and then come back. They are for professionals that are skilled in the art of watching behavior on people. So, interpreting behavior in individuals. Um, I'm not going to say that I agree with them all the time, but I think they really have a lot to share, a lot of knowledge, and that's why we're doing this. Um, if you don't know who Chris and Katie Proudfoot are, they are the mom and stepmom of Sebastian Rogers, 15-year-old autistic male who went missing on February 25th, 26th from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. There is, it's been almost 8 months now, just shy actually of 8 months. And it's just a sad, sad case. There's been no leads. There's been a lot of drama, too much so. And I guess I'll talk a little bit. A big RICO case was just filed. I'm not even going to bring up who's all involved in it. But just to say that I hope this stops the garbage, because anyone that knows me, or if you have watched any of my videos, you'll know that I don't like cyberbullying. I don't like it when creators go at each other. It it just gets to me. As a granny, and this granny isn't dumb. You know, I have lived a good life. I have my bachelor's in business, and I have worked right up until retirement. I've never, my teacher once told me, never stop learning. And then that's so true. Even at my age, I still want to learn new things. I still am on the internet learning new things every day. I self-taught myself. I had no one to help me learn how to use any of this technical equipment for podcasting. No one. I taught myself. Am I perfect? Am I an expert? Absolutely not. But I said all that just to say that, I have lived a good life. I have not been in the shadows. I've been out there, and I have seen a lot, been through a lot. And so I feel that I have wisdom to share. And the wisdom that I have to share to the true crime community is to please stop. We can look at things objectively. We can report honestly. And yes, we all have our own opinions. But when, the one thing that I hate the most right now is this cancel culture crap. And that's exactly what it is. It's poop, for lack of a better word. And believe me, I could use better words. My husband was a truck driver, so yeah, I could use better words if I wanted to. It's just outright crap. Whatever happened to being an adult, and if you don't like something, you move on? Why do people try to cancel other people out because of something they don't like or something they heard them say or do? Or Whatever. Yeah, I'm on a rant, I guess. I'm sorry. But it just really irritates me when anyone brings up the cancel culture, and maybe I'll make a short about cancel culture because it just really irritates me. But that's in essence what's been happening in the Sebastian Rogers case. People trying to cancel each other. Come on, and I get it. There comes a time when people are, disrupting your life so much that maybe you need to fight back. I get that. But where does it end, people? Where does it end? I think, the RICO case is probably very important because there were individuals that were disrupting the search for Sebastian, that were trying to cause drama to keep the focus off of Sebastian. And where does that stem from? Why? Who doesn't want Sebastian found, people? For the life of me, I do not understand that. I will never understand that. But there you have it. That's my rant. Keep in mind that everything said in this video is my opinion. Everything is alleged. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And in Sebastian's case, we don't have anybody under arrest at this time. So keep in mind that, we all have our opinions and we have our right to those opinions. Now, I will go a step further and say, in our opinions, we don't have a right to hurt other people. Okay? So we need to be careful about that. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to continue on in our I don't know what we want to say, in our pursuit and in our discussion about the second interview. So let's go ahead and do that. And all right. So here we go.
What do you want to say to our viewers? Anybody who's watching, we've got a lot of folks in this community and in other counties just throughout the state as well. What do you want to say to them?
Help spread the word and keep searching, and thank you. And just if you think you see him, call him in.
Thank all the viewers, everybody that's helped from across the board. I mean, everybody has been tremendous.
Call his name.
Yeah.
He'll answer, and if he doesn't answer, he'll look, even if he's not being verbal at the moment, because he can talk, but sometimes he don't talk. Call his name. Tell him to stay put.
He could be on the move, so keep checking our properties.
Yes. Like, the search is never over until he comes home. That is for sure.
So smart.
But thank you for everything that everybody has done, has volunteered, the continuous efforts. I mean, it's, like I said, I've never seen something to this magnitude before.
Our community is amazing.
We're all praying, hoping, and searching for Sebastian's safe return for that day. Thank you both for
Thank
talking
you.
with me.
Okay. Second. There we go.
All right, Chase, what do you got?
So one thing that all of us look for in every video that we look at is change. How does a person change from one way of behaving to a different way of behaving? In this whole video, we don't see a lot of it. Both of their behaviors are consistent and continuous throughout this whole thing. And here's why this is so important. When you're innocent, behaving like you behave requires almost zero cognitive effort. No one's focusing on their behavior because they don't feel the need to. The camera being present might add a layer of stress here, but that's acceptable. And we can see the difference between that, I promise you. But being consistent through all of this, no matter how much training somebody's had, if you're guilty of something, I would say it's as close to impossible as it gets to fake at this level. And Mark, you're an actor. You've been to all these famous acting schools and stuff. Mm-hmm. Can you help us just to understand like how hard this would be to fake at this level?
Here's what makes it really hard is when you're acting, the audience have to get it. You're communicating, so it can't be muddy. It's got to be a clear communication, which means you can't have lots of things going on in your mind. You've got to have a clear through line. And that's what makes really good actors great communicators, but not necessarily supernatural. They don't come across as natural. You go, God, they're a great performer, but that's not what somebody would do in real life. What you're seeing here is real life. It's muddy, it's chaotic. It's some of it is very, very subtle. Some of it's very, very clear. So none of this is like an actor would actually do. I would say acting is an art form, a communication and expression, and what you're seeing there is real life. 24 times 30 times on 30 times a second right now. So hard to fake. And even good actors, they don't get awards because they were really natural. They get awards because they were very, very communicative. Hope that answers.
Okay, so Chase and Mark, so far, both feel that Katie and Chris are being natural. As natural as they can be sitting in front of a camera talking about the son who's missing, right? What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? Honestly, when I watched their video, I did watch the whole thing before we broke it down, but I was very surprised. First, I was surprised at Katie being so distraught through much of the video, because it seems like after this video, we haven't seen that from her. We've seen more of a distance. And I know there are a lot of thoughts out there and a lot of opinions in regards to Chris. We all have those opinions. We've seen some different things through here. I myself have said that I have seen a lot of anger out of Chris in many different videos, and you have to wonder, where does that anger come from? What is the reason for that? On the flip side of the coin, because of all the media attention that they've had, maybe he's a very private person and, doesn't do well with all this attention, all this media attention, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, guys. I don't know if he and Katie are guilty or not. That's up to law enforcement to figure out, right? I hope whatever happens, that Sebastian is brought home. That's the focus here. But we're just trying to figure out from this video, the whole purpose for showing this entire video is to see if we can glean anything from their behavior as to where Sebastian is. And so far, according to what Chase and Mark are saying, they're being very natural. Now, guilty people wouldn't be acting like that, right? You know, they feel that Katie is being very genuine in her grief that she shows in this video. They feel that Chris is being genuine. They've said a few things, contempt, anger. They've pointed out a few different things in Chris, but are those things that they have pointed out in Chris, are those things a possibility of guilt, or are those things a part of his personality? Tell me what you guys think. I really, really want your interaction here. Tell me in the comments what your thoughts are. Please be respectful. No hate on this channel at all. If you're found to be hateful, you'll be removed. I'm just very adamant about that. This is not the place for that. But let's continue on.
To your question,
Yeah.
Chase.
Yeah, great call. Perfect.
Look, here's what I've got on this one. She's got a clear strategy, which is urgent. Call his name. And the father jumps in with yes. Anybody I would suspect who is engaged in a crime in some way would try and put a barrier in the way of this. Like, here's why that won't work, or we've tried that, or, they would put in barriers in the way because they don't want somebody who's involved in a crime, does not want the evidence to be found, and will consciously or unconsciously put barriers in the way there. And look how the mother then acts out the son. If there's any change in baseline, Chase, that's one of our biggest changes in baseline, as she kind of takes on that spirit of the son and performs how he would perform in that situation. If she knew that he's not alive, she wouldn't be doing that. You wouldn't perform in that way.
Okay, I just want to stop it there real quick. I liked what he said about people who are guilty, who don't want to be found out, will put barriers in the way. But instead, Chris and Katie both said, call his name, and they didn't put barriers. But on the flip side of the coin, we know that someone started putting up barriers for all the searchers. They started, coming after the searchers, following them, cutting serpentine belts, whatever the case is. And so there are barriers to Sebastian being found, but who's behind it? We don't know. We think we may know, but that's for law enforcement to find out. Let's continue.
That's her taking on that live son in her mind. Scott, what do you got on this one?
It's going to be short and boring, so don't go over what you guys have got over again. We're seeing everything we should see. So in other words, what you guys are saying is we're seeing everything we should see. It looks real to me. It looks like it should look to me. Greg, what do you got?
Yeah, just a few things. A couple of that come out immediately is exactly what you said, Mark. Sometimes it's very muddy. It's not the clear thing that we expect. And add to that guilt. A child is missing, guarantee you there's guilt. And I don't mean that they're guilty of doing something. I mean, they feel guilt. Imagine yourself, if your dog escapes and gets lost, you feel guilt. Imagine that compounding many times over by an only child and by a child who is reliant on you. So there's going to be some of that. There are two things I'd point out here.
One is when she says, call his name, he will, you see something in his face of concern. And I think that concern is maybe often the mother is going to think the child is more communicative than he might think because he was an outsider coming into the child's life. He may be thinking, well, maybe, but you can see something fleet through his face very quickly. It doesn't look like grief or shame or any of that. It just looks like, I'm not sure about that. And then his nostrils flare. If you're about to cry and you're trying to contain emotion, often men will flare their nostrils, especially in the South where people are not maybe as emotionally broadcast as some other parts of the country where certain cultures may be more demonstrative. Old South is very contained, and you may be seeing that. I just see that I think he's close to emotional at the very last thing. So nothing new. That's all I got for this one.
One of those tape replays.
Okay. So not a whole lot from that part, right? And that was pretty much the end of the video. So what do you guys think? What are your thoughts about what the behavior panel, what these 4 guys came up with? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree? Let me know. Please be respectful, but I want to hear from you. I want to know what your thoughts are. I really feel like there's so much more than we know. I'm not so sure that we got a whole lot out of this second video. Other than my absolute shock because I didn't remember Katie being so distraught. Honestly, I'm happy to see that. I'm just sorry that any further interviews and even her most recent appearance in court shows a mother who's not distraught in any way. How would you guys feel 8 months in? At some point you kind of have to get on with your life. But there are just some things that, looking back, she left right away. And, they said that she didn't want to be home alone, because of the threats and things that they were getting. And I don't know. In my opinion, if it were my child, I would not have left. I would have wanted to be there. You would have been hard pressed to get me to even go to the grocery store. I would have been asking other people to do it for me because I wouldn't have wanted to leave the house hoping he'd come back. Which makes me think that she knows something else. What else are we supposed to think, guys? I don't know. Her 8 months in, would I be able to laugh a little? Yeah, probably. But I don't know. I think I'd still be pretty distraught. I know a woman in my hometown who had her daughter disappear. And it's been buku years. Years. Over a decade. I don't know exactly how many right at the moment, but it's been over a decade. And I don't know her on a personal friendly level, but in the business realm, I knew this woman and I saw her at least every month. And when it came near the anniversary or of her disappearance, her daughter's disappearance, or her daughter's birthday, or it was around Christmas. This woman still, to this day, gets very upset to the point where she, has to be off work. She can't cope. She needs the day to herself to just, and she's visibly in tears. She's visibly distraught. And somehow, and almost to the point where if you have a heart, you feel it with her, because I can't imagine a child of mine gone missing, and I can't even imagine it. And I know that people are different, right? But I more identify with the lady from my hometown that I know, right? I more identify with that than identify with Katie, because that's not how I would react. And I think that's why most of us have a problem with her, right? Because she doesn't react the way we feel she should, or the way we feel we would in that situation. Um, we need to keep in mind she was in the military. So I think they're taught to hold a lot of their emotions, feelings inside. They cannot display those kinds of things in the military, right? I mean, I don't know. There could be, I guess what I'm saying, guys, is there could be a whole lot of reasons why Katie acts the way she does. There could be a whole lot of reasons why Chris acts the way he does. But as far as this video, I don't think we've learned or gotten any hints of where Sebastian is. One big red flag, I would say, is I never heard them say his name. And that's really important. Why can't they say Sebastian? Say his name, Sebastian Rogers. So the next video is we're going to be continuing on with our look back to try and find clues, to try and see if there's anything that we missed in this case. We're going back to the beginning. Remember that anything that we talk about here is alleged. It is conjecture. It's our opinion, right? And everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We're not accusing anyone of anything. And I just want to remind you guys to please like and subscribe. Please hit the like button. Share the video if you liked it. I really would like to grow my channel. It would be awesome if you could help me out with that. Please remember to light it up green for Sebastian. Please. If you have put a green candle in your window at night, if that's, the best that you can do. Otherwise, green porch lights. I have a solar panel, rope lights on my porch to light it up green for Sebastian, and I intend to keep it lit until Sebastian comes home. If that's years, if that's until I die, that's what's going to happen. So, please do that. Say his name. Put his name out there every day. Put his picture out there every day. Get it out there, and Please keep him at the forefront of everything that we do and we say. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granny'scrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one.